Okay, let's go ahead and export out this drawing to a CAD file. I'm going to choose Tools, Export Drawing As. Again, I right-clicked here, but you could just as easily go Tools, Export Drawing As. I'm going to tell Traverse PC that I want to send out the entire drawing called Site. Okay, that's the only option available to me in the What list. I'm going to write an AutoCAD DWG. And I had talked with the architect, and what I find a lot of times, for whatever reason, they're running older copies of CAD. So I oftentimes just write this 2004-5-6, and I'm pretty much good for most people today. I could go all up to a 2018, but what if someone doesn't have that version? So AutoCAD can always open older versions. I'm pretty safe with that one. I can learn what the other options are here, but I don't really need those right now. I'm going to browse and go to my deliverables folder, and I'm going to name it the same as the PDF file, so just Site DWG. And let's go ahead and export that. Okay. Now, if you don't have a CAD viewer, you can just open up the CAD view inside of Traverse PC, and I can go ahead and choose File, Open. Here's that deliverables folder. Here's that Site DWG. I've got some display options with line widths that I don't want to use here. And I basically can see everything that they're going to get inside the CAD file that they open with our CAD program. And I can come in and turn off the same layers and everything you saw me do a minute ago. Okay, so I can look at it there, make sure it's right, or I can just say, hey, go ahead and preview that and let it open it up in whatever viewer I'm using. Okay, we took a look at this earlier, but let's camp out here just a little longer now and talk about what I'm actually sending out to this CAD file. So right off the bat, we can see that I calibrated this background photo to my survey. I picked points on the photo, I picked those same points on my survey, and Traverse PC rotated, translated, scaled the photo so that it fit. And I see I have that same fit in the CAD file. So that got transferred over beautifully for me. And if they don't want to see that, it's on the background layer. They can figure that out pretty quick, and they can just turn it off. Okay. Now, Traverse PC writes a model space, so everything that's paper space in Traverse PC comes over in model space, but it's on its own layer. I put everything on the 0 layer. So I can go into that 0 layer and turn that off. So good so far. So far, so good. Let's window around this now. And you can see that basically I've left on the utilities, kind of the feature points with symbol, description, label, but I haven't included all the topo shots here. Remember, he's got those in a ASCII point file. I could have turned those on and included them as well here if I wanted to. I just chose not to. I left the lot label and areas on. I've got the property lines, and I've got this paved area up here showing. So I'm expecting he's probably going to do what we did earlier, where he's going to want to jump in and kind of take a look at a 3D view of it here. And he's got all of the stuff that Traverse PC generated for him. He's got the contour lines. He's got the contour labels. I've got minor and major. There are different colors in here. You can see the features are up at the elevation of the surface. Again, my survey information is down here because I didn't use any of it to generate the surface. So he can come in and just say, well, gosh, I don't need all of those lot labels. Oh, I got to turn off that command. I don't need the lot labels or area labels. I don't need the lines. I don't need the line labels. I don't need the point labels. You can clean up kind of whatever he wants and have something simpler for him to actually go ahead and now work with for his 3D stuff. Here's what I want to show you though. In addition to this surface having the contours and labels and everything that Traverse PC generated, when we write a CAD file, we also send over the polyface mesh. So exit that last command. I always forget I have to do that. The polyface mesh is the same triangles that Traverse PC used to do all of its surface work, whether that's volume, slope analysis, contours, whatever. And Traverse PC can then send that over to CAD as a polyface mesh, so they have the same surface to do whatever they want to with. So now CAD can do slope analysis and volumes and contours, that whole thing. And what's so interesting is that you can kind of see up here, we picked up a top face of that slope, and it's modeled really nicely in that polyface mesh. We did the same thing at the bottom of that slope, and we had kind of a flat area here in the middle. Then we had another slope that came down and a flat area at the bottom. So you see how the contours kind of fit the triangles really well. And if for no other reason, it's just kind of peace of mind. Whenever I look at a surface that I haven't done, that I didn't generate, I look for things like edge conditions. Is it behaving properly out here at the edges? And do I have break lines in here that are modeling the breaks properly on the surface? And yeah, I've got all that just by looking at this real quick, saying, yeah, I've got a nice model here to go with the contours. And I just wanted you then to see that all of that kind of comes out the way I want. Now, I do want to talk about one more thing here. If I go into the AutoCAD export options and just bring up the help topic, I'll expand this out a little bit. I can see that when I'm exporting, I've got 3 options for layering. And this is real critical. A lot of times a client will specify, I want these layers in the CAD file you send me. So I can layer by traverse, I can layer by entities, or I can combine those. So here's the full discussion about it, but let me just show it to you really quickly here so you can just kind of see how it works. I'm going to come back to my traverses here, and I've turned on this layer label here, or layer column. And I'm going to go into this tax lot, and I'm going to type in a layer called lots. And I'm going to come into my edge of pavement and put a layer name in called pavement. And the layer names the client wants might include proposed pavement or existing pavement or existing lots or proposed lots or lots phase 1, lots phase 2. It's that kind of thing that I'm after with this. And now when I go to export this, I say use those traverse layers. Now, the way I've specified this, everything from that gets drawn by this traverse is going to go on this layer. If I use some asterisks and dashes and stuff, I can create pavements points, pavements lines, pavements labels, pavements symbols, stratify those in many ways as I want. I'm consolidating, actually, just kind of keeping it simpler here. And let's go ahead and export that again. Let's overwrite the one that's already there, and let's preview that. Okay, so we're back in the CAD viewer. Let's open this up. Let's turn off those layers that we didn't want earlier. Okay, and let's go ahead and zoom in around this information we had just been looking at. Remember I said I took everything from this tax lot and I put it on a lots layer. So here's that layer now. And I can simply turn that off and it's all gone because everything was on the one layer. Here's the pavement layer. I'm going to turn that off and everything's gone from that pavement layer. So I'm really in good shape or in a good position to give that client whatever works best for them when they actually start using this product in their CAD environment. And having those layer names set up that way is one of the ways I can give them a product that really works for them.